This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Will Dix, the MD of Todd River Resources, listed on the ASX with the ticker TRT. There are various projects at different stages of development. So hello, Will. Welcome to Stockbox. How are you?
Hi, Mark. Nice to be here. Very well, thanks.
Thank you very much for your time. Could I ask you, first of all, to perhaps just introduce the company, give us the high-level overview and what it is that you're all about and where your focus is?
Sure. So we're a relatively young company. I've been around, listed on the ASX for around 4.5 years. We originally started with a bunch of greenfields exploration projects in the Northern Territory. We've built some of those up. One of them had a large low-grade resource, zinc resource, which we've divested. And recently we pivoted back into Western Australia and on the back of Chalice's excellent work at their Julimar project, we pegged some ground and got involved in the southwest Yilgarn, and our Berkshire Valley project there is the main focus. We've got approximately 45 kilometres of strike of mafic and ultramafic intrusions, which are the key geological host for nickel, copper, platinum resources in intrusive rocks. So that's been a large focus for us. And as well as that, we have the Narromine project a bit further north, similar geological setting. And really, other than that, the Mount Hardy asset in the Northern Territory would be our third main project. We have a pretty active exploration program underway at the moment at Berkshire Valley, where we're drilling. We'll drill right up till Christmas and then start again in the new year after the Christmas break. We've got a strong, supportive exploration-focused board, and we're well funded to carry out all of our plans for the next sort of 12 to 18 months.
Okay. And is the focus mostly on zinc and copper projects?
It's base metals. So, yeah. So with the Mount Hardy project in the Northern Territory is zinc copper. Over here in WA, we're looking more at the nickel copper platinum side of things. So the intrusion-related deposits, similar to what Chalice have found at Julimar.
Okay. Well, let's take a deeper look into some of the projects then. Let's look at the Berkshire Valley project, because you recently had some air core drilling, didn't you?
Yeah, so at Berkshire Valley, we've taken a systematic, methodical approach whereby we've gone in to a project that was really a blank canvas for us, and we've started with some blanket geochemistry, built up a number of targets where we've got nickel, copper, platinum, palladium anomalies and really robust anomalies that we're quite excited about. And recently we started drilling those. The first lot of results have come out and you know, without having any assays, but just from the visual look of the rocks, we've intersected a number of holes. I think it's 13 or 14 holes with sulfides in the fresh rock. They're mainly iron sulfides, so pyrrhotite pyrite, but there's also chalcopyrite, so the copper sulfide in a number of holes. And we're going to follow that up with some deeper drilling, probably just this side of Christmas. So results from that will come out in January. And on top of that, we're about to kick off a fairly broad, detailed moving loop EM survey, so geophysical survey that will look about 300 metres below surface and see if we've got any conductors there that we can drill with deeper holes. So we're right at the starting gate of a pretty exciting 6 months up at Berkshire Valley.
Okay, so it's early stage exploration here at the moment.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Yeah, so it's really, you know, the first part has been the geochemistry. We've done that. We're into the drilling side of things. We'll dovetail that with some geophysics, and then we'll drill the targets that we identify in the new year from that combined work.
Okay, so what is it? Do you have any idea what you might be targeting here, and what attracted you to the project initially? I'm thinking, is there a lot of historical data, or is it prolific mining region, this kind of thing?
Well, it's largely on the back of Chalice's discovery at Gonville at Julimar. So that was March 2020, so nearly 2 years ago. And that really opened up a whole new region of Western Australia that people hadn't paid much attention to. And we were one of the first companies in there to recognise that there was quite an extensive geological package that was prospective for this type of deposit. And we pegged, what we think is a really, really strong package of ground. 45 kilometres of strike. You know that you need the mafic and ultramafic intrusive rocks. You can see them very, very clearly in magnetic images, in processed magnetics. So we could look at that magnetic data that's publicly available and identify within that image where we thought the intrusions were. And we were able to peg, we were able to acquire a couple of really good tenements that have got quite a lot of these intrusions in them. And we're methodically going through those and exploring for this style of mineralisation.
Okay. What about Mount Hardy then? I understand this is in an area that you had extensive discoveries and mining for copper.
Yeah, so Mount Hardy is in the Northern Territory, so it's about 300 kilometres northwest of Alice Springs, so right in the middle of Australia. Historically, there was some copper mining sort of post World War II vintage, where the old timers, as we call them, just went in and scraped the surface and where they could see secondary copper, which manifests as malachite on the surface. They were able to mine that, and we're talking small quantities, 10,000 tonnes, that kind of thing. But it's a great leading indicator for us for modern technologies and modern exploration techniques. So we went in there. 2018 was a really big year there for us. We drilled out a resource it's small in size. It's only 2.5 million tonnes, but high grade at 10% zinc equivalent. So zinc, copper, plus a bit of silver. The resource is still open. It's open at depth. It's got limited strike extent, so it's only over probably about 400 metres. But we've got a whole bunch of targets up there to test going forward, and we'll do that in the second half of 2022.
Okay. And then Narromine, then that's your other main focus, isn't it? What stage is this project at?
Yeah, so again, it's early stage, Mark. It's an area that we identified very early on in the sort of Western Australia land grab. We got what we consider to be the prime real estate there. We're going to go out and do an airborne geophysics survey at the end of March next year, and we'll follow that up with a drilling program. One of the benefits on that project for us is that we've actually applied for some Western Australian government funding, and we were successful in that application. So the first $150,000 that we spend there will be matched dollar for dollar by the government. Not a huge amount of money in our business, that's neither here nor there, but it just gives us that little bit of extra drilling that we can do in March, April next year once we've done the geophysics. So, between Berkshire Valley and Narromine, there are two real WA-focused projects at the moment, looking at the same kind of mineralisation, so the nickel, copper, platinum, palladium. And moving into the second half of next year, we'll go across to Mount Hardy and do quite a bit of work up there as well.
Okay. So those are your three main projects where you're going to be focusing your activities. What about the other projects in the portfolio? Are they just being kept on sort of care and maintenance, or is there a little bit of work going on? What's the story with the other projects?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of others that are sort of sitting on the back burner, I guess you'd say. So Pingandi is one where we've got a number of tenements. Some of them are still under application, so we can't get access to those at the moment. But we've got a work program designed there. The first pass stuff, the geochemistry that you need to really narrow in and focus in on where you want to put your drill holes. We should be able to get that done fairly easily next year as well. Outside of that, Nanyatara is a joint venture. We're sort of seeing where that sits in the scheme of things next year, depending what happens elsewhere. And then we've got a number of other projects that we're looking at, either divestment opportunities or joint venture opportunities.
Okay. So just looking at the investment case then for Todd River, I see the market cap is just about 50 million Aussie dollars. And you've said there, you talked about the three projects, and they are sort of mostly all early stage projects and exploration going on next year to hopefully build up the value there. You've also recently had an influx of funds, haven't you? So are you fairly well funded as well for activities going forward?
We are, absolutely. So at the start of this quarter, so the end of the September quarter, we had just over 6 million in the bank, and that was a good position for us. That was enough to get us through the next 12 months. And since then, we've actually had around 8 million options have been exercised, which has brought $500,000 Aussie dollars into the bank. And as well as that, we've had a shareholding in a company called Core Lithium, and we've divested those shares as well. And we got those as part of the consideration for an asset. We sold them. They were trading around 3.5 cents at the time, and we sold those for sort of 57, 58 cents. So we did really well. And together that's put an extra $1.1 million in the bank. So at the moment, sitting at about 7 million, really well placed. That more than funds us for everything we want to do going through the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay, that's good. So how do you see the next 12 to 18 months, and could it be transformational for the company?
Absolutely. With exploration, you're only ever one drill hole away from a whole new plan, and we'd like nothing more than to hit something at Berkshire Valley in the next couple of months, and really be needing 2 or 3 rigs to go out and be drilling deep holes. Exploration's an inexact science. We as I say to everyone, we can't change the geology, but all we can do is be really effective and really efficient, and make sure that if there's something there, we find it. We've got great targets. We're well funded. We've got a great supportive board and a really strong team behind us. So, we're looking forward to being able to bring some really good news to shareholders over the next few months.
Okay, well, Will Dix, the Managing Director of Todd River Resources, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Mark. Anytime.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.